What's going on, everybody? This is Peter Renna back with something a little bit different today. I'm waiting for my phone to charge as my second camera to do my dollar bin digging portion for this week's article. So, in the meantime, I figured I'd kill some time and share some pickups, with you guys. So, these are some books that I've grabbed over the last couple of weeks, basically through the mail since I can't go anywhere still. Shops and some places are kind of slowly reopening here where I'm at, but again, still mostly what I'm getting is mostly online stuff. So, uh, you know, I have no hidden agendas, no things I'm trying to hawk or sell you or try to convince you to give me money in any sort of way. I'm just sharing the information that I got for free because I like comics and I like sharing the information that I got. So if you're curious about the stuff that I'm spending my money on, this is stuff that I'm picking up regardless of, what everybody else is doing. So to kick things off, just random things. I grab a lot of things sometimes, that just interest me or I think are at a good price. And one of those things I think is still at a good price is this Black Panther one. I think I actually picked this for a back nine or something recently because it's got the first Dora Milaje in here and Okoye in particular, and it's a nice little book. I mean, there's a lot of copies of this out there, but oh, and I got issue two in with this as well. Just it's kind of a throw-in, I guess. But no, I still think it's a good book. I think it still has some upside. When Black Panther 2 comes out, I think this may see some interest again because it heated up first round when the first movie came out. Because again, these are some important characters in that universe and that world. I dig them, and I think this is a good book to grab if you can find it cheap enough. Let's see. What else did I grab? Oh, shout out to Topher on this one. I just like this Stargirl cover. There's not a lot of variant covers for her, so I actually grabbed two of this 1 in 50 Justice League United. I paid very, very little for these. I think I paid maybe $7 a copy, and for a 1 in 50, that's to me a no-brainer if it's something I like. So hey, if one heats up, I can sell one to help pay for my other one. But that's the kind of thinking that I do. I'm not a big seller on eBay. I just kind of flip a few things just so I can buy more comics, so my wife doesn't kill me. So that's really the ins and outs of it. I hit up dollar bins. Sometimes I'll flip a book that I find for cheap that shouldn't be in there, and it helps me pay for that lot of books I brought home to add to this big pile of collection that I've got growing that I actually need to trim one of these days. But without holding things up, let's move on to see the next book that I grabbed. But this one is another a variant that I decided to grab. I thought it might be interesting. Again, price is pretty cheap. This is a cheetah variant. Not a lot of cheetah variants out there either that you can find. And who knows if she hits with Wonder Woman 2 or Wonder Woman 1984, whatever they're calling it, or whatever it may be. This could see some interest. I don't know. It was a cheap enough book that I thought for the price that I might as well grab it. I think it's a 1 in 25. I'm not positive on the ratio on this for this new 52 black and white covers. I think they're 1 in 25s, but don't completely quote me on that. I mean, do a little bit of research on your end too, I guess. I did mine initially. I just don't remember. But so I grabbed that. Let me take these down so I've got some room for the next stuff. Next couple of books, just a couple of Journey into Mysteries that I grabbed. A couple of interesting first appearances in there. I can't remember this girl's name, but this was I don't know if it's like Lily or something like. I can't remember her name, but there's I believe a first appearance of a possible love interest or maybe even just a secondary character in a Loki series in the MCU there. So I decided to grab these. Again, super cheap. Sometimes you want to hit that either free shipping threshold on some places where you're buying books, or you just kind of want to cut that cost to not have to be paying $5-6 to ship one book. It feels a little bit more palatable if you're getting at least 3 books out of the deal. So to that end, new books this past week that I bought. Well, I'm not sure when I'm going to post this, but this would have been end of May. So not tomorrow. Today's June 2nd. So not tomorrow's books, but last week's books. I ordered from Midtown, and I grabbed this Venom cover. This Venom 25. I don't know if this character in here is going to take off or not. I just really dig this cover. The red, just kind of popped, and I just like the art on this. So even at $6, I just figured, why not? I needed something to buy new release wise because I've just, not had anything in a while, which is also why I ended up spending a couple of bucks to get the Afra 1 in 25. It was the only cover I really, really liked out of the batch for Afra Series 2. I just didn't really care for the 1 in 50 all that much. I mean, it's okay, but it was nothing special, and I wasn't going to be paying that price. I probably should have paid what I paid for this one, but again, I liked it the best, the Ashley Witter cover, so I grabbed it. I think it's heated up a little bit, but I mean, it doesn't matter. I bought that for me, so unless this thing went nuclear and it hits a I can't refuse price. It's just going to stay in my PC anyway. So there's that batch. So with that Star Wars book, if you follow me on Instagram at all, you'll see that I buy a shitload of Star Wars books, at least recently. I just can't help myself. There's just a lot of good stuff that I just kind of want to add to the PC. So the next little stretch is a bit of Star Wars. So let's see what else I can have. Here we got Boba Fett is Dead, Blood Ties 1. I think this is like a 1 in 5 or 1 in 4. This is a low ratio. I mean, it could be 1 in 10, but this is a low ratio variant on this Blood Ties Star Wars book. I just really like the cover. Again, the red, yellow background. I don't know, red covers been grabbing me lately. So I figured I'd snatch that up. Yeah. While I could. Another book that's just a little bit of spec. You can find these in dollar bins, and again, even at an online price, I think I paid $1.50 or it's like some weird low price, change amounts. But I grabbed a couple copies of the Sith War #1, which is the first Mandalore. Is it Mandalore the Indomitable or Mandalore the Ultimate? I always forget which one was first. The first one, which I think is Mandalore the Indomitable, shows up in this book, and that's who's pictured here with the first Mandalorian basically mask. If the Mandalorian series gets into the history of their religion and whatnot, I could see them kind of referencing this character as well as the whichever one is the other one. I don't know if it's Ultimate or Indomitable. I think first appears in issue 6 when the first Mandalorian here bites it, and he picks up the helmet, picks up the mask, whatever you want to call it, and carries it on, and then thus a religion is born. So, speaking of Mandalorian and Mandalorian Season 2, I know my buddy Mel V's been talking about this book for a while now, and I've been looking for one, and then I happened to find this newsstand version. This is the Blood Ties #2, which is, I think, more of a first full appearance of Boba Fett's daughter. She's a little bit older. She's not a hologram or the little baby that in that Star Wars Tales, but she's a little kid in this. And it's a very short cameo, but it's still a pretty solid book, I think. And the newsstand kind of helps. This is all ticked up down the side here, so it's not the cleanest of copies, but for the price, I figured it was worth a flyer, and I just kind of wanted one, so I just said, why not, Up next, my other buddy, Ben C., kind of talked me into this one. This is, I think, a 1 in 10 game variant for this Jedi Fallen Order Dark Temple. I grabbed 2 of these just in case. From what I actually saw, I think Phil Lee, also writes for CBSI, noted that a couple of these are sold for quite a bit recently. I wasn't aware, but there it is. When I bought these, I think these were under the straight ratio price. I think they might have been $8 a piece. Thereabouts, because like I said, I think they're 1 in 10s, and I paid under ratio for them, which is why I bought 2. Also, again, that shipping, I felt a little bit better, paying that $5 shipping and getting 2 rather than just getting the 1. So who knows? I mean, if it has heated up enough, maybe I'll throw one out there to try to again recoup the cost, make mine free, and have a few extra bucks to buy more Star Wars, like Star Wars 0.5, which is another book that I needed to add to my list to kind of finish off my legacy run. I think it's near complete. I got to double check my box to see if there's any random issues missing, but I think I pretty much got the entire legacy run, which is another cool series and a lot of Sith in this run, and I just do like this cover. And the 0.5, I think Mike Morello had explained that this is more of like a guidebook than anything else, but still, for that cover, I decided I wanted this. And plus, again, I'm kind of OCD, and I just like my runs to be complete. So I like completing everything. So if I can get them, I'll get them all. Another book I got with that book from the same seller was this Star Wars Jedi Yoda book. Right now, it's evading me, the first appearance that might be in here. I think there could be a possible tie to the Fallen Order character in this. Cal, I think his name is. Again, sorry, I didn't prepare for this. I'm just, again, kind of killing time, showing off books that I bought. There was a reason behind the madness of why I bought it. I just, for the life of me right now, just can't remember it. But I know if you could do like I do right now, but I'm not going to, while you guys are watching, check out the Star Wars Master List. I believe this is on Ben C's Star Wars Master List and explains who that first appearance is. But there is a first appearance in this book, and that's why I went out to look for it. And I found one, decent price. And again, split that cost by getting more than one book that I had been looking for. So that's right. Again, I try to do. You find a little bit extra money in your PayPal. I go out looking, see if I can find a seller. I got a couple of things I can get to just kind of make it worth my while in buying. So up next, it looks like I got a couple of variants. I'm typically not a big variant buyer. I just don't like paying that extra price. I'm usually fine with an A or a B cover, but in some cases, I make that jump. I take that plunge. And for this, Kanan 1, I grabbed the 1 in 25. It was a solid price at the time. I think it's still doing pretty well. First Sabine Wren in comic book form. So I figured I'd get the high ratio 1 in 25 because there's a lot of copies of this book and there's a couple of different covers. You can get the 1 in 10, you get the animation variant, you got the Scotty Young, and there's the Books a Million. I think there's a Books a Million version that has Vader on it, which I also have, which I also kind of like. But this 1 in 25 is the ratio book. So I figured I'd grab one. And while I was at it, I grabbed a second one from another seller who also threw in an extra copy of the regular. So I don't know. I'll probably end up at least moving one of these at some point. I'm going to check them out, see if either of them are candidates to be graded. Not sure that they are. I don't grade a lot of books. I'm fine with books usually as they are. I'm just more of a raw book collector. I just like having things on my PC. But I occasionally would like to grade a book here and there, especially if I'm looking to sell it, because you can get a premium usually on things by having it in a 9/8. So if you can get that grade, it's usually worth the investment to send them in. But again, I don't personally send in a lot of books. It's just not something that's really in my budget or my time to do so. So I maybe submit maybe once or twice a year, but that's just me. And looks like the last Star Wars book in this little short run here is I grabbed a Knights of the Old Republic issue 8 because I needed it for my Knights of the Old Republic run. Again, that's another one I'm just trying to finish off. I think I've got most of them now. I found a huge lot of them from a dealer out at the flea market that basically sold them for next to nothing. I just grabbed a huge Star Wars lot of books and a lot of this run, a lot of the Legacy run, I think some of the Empire run, and just a bunch of the Dark Horse books that I found really cheap. Granted, all of them weren't in the greatest of condition, but again, while I do like high grade books, I am not a snob and will not buy a book if it's cheap enough, as long as it's not super water damaged or smells like mold or anything too chewed up. But even sometimes I still can't say no to a chewed up book. Again, it depends on what it is. It depends on the price. Another book, I think Tim Walker had actually pointed this book out, is the first appearance, I think, of Stargirl, like inside this files, which I think came out months before Stargirl, Stars and Stripe issue 0. So this could technically be seen as her first. I mean, even down here, you can see it says, "Who are Stars and Stripe?" They appear in the book, but and again, if you look at the publishing dates, it looks like this was released a couple of months before. I don't remember the dates offhand, but it was interesting. I found one online, decent price again. Again, it's all about the price to me. I don't buy high when things are hot, but if you find a solid deal on a book and you just kind of want it because you just can't say no, I wholeheartedly agree. Just jump in, but don't look at something like a Hot 10 list and think that you're going to buy a book there at market price and then next week turn it and make more money, because usually when books show up on lists like that, those are already selling. So the chances of books going up even higher are usually pretty slim. This market in particular, the last couple of years, is very, very tight. I don't know if collectors just have the attention span of fruit flies or what it is, but books heat up so quickly and flame out even faster that it can give you whiplash. So you can order the best book in the world, buying it online. Oh, I ordered it from Midtown, but then you get it a week later and that book's not going to be able to sell for you now. So it's too late. You missed the window, because people are pre-selling books before they even come out on Wednesday. It's like, oh, it's a $30 book for some of these DC, the Punchline type stuff, before books even hit the shelves, that they don't last. I mean, well, I don't want to use Punchline too much because it's still kind of hanging in there, mostly because I think a lot of people have money invested in it, so they don't want to give up on it, but we still don't know where that character's going, and personally, I don't really care all that much. So until there's a story that's really that interesting, Punchline is just a side note to me. I got a copy here or there, but who cares? Sure, I can flip it and maybe make a few bucks, but I don't know. I'm going to see where it goes. I'm not going to say she's going to be the next Harley or anything, but I don't know. It is what it is. Just be careful. try to spend your money wisely and do the best you can out there. So again, I'm just sharing the information and telling you what I do. Listen to me, don't listen to me, it doesn't matter. If you just want to see the books, you can just look at the books too. Again, I bought these really cheap, just grabbed a whole bunch of books off of one seller because I wanted one book. And again, I had to hit a certain amount to get to that shipping price point. So I grabbed a Star Wars one from the Dark Horse run there. It was really cheap. Don't pay attention to the price. I didn't pay $4 for it. It was just this seller had some of these books marked, and I don't even remember what it was. I think it was like $1.60 or I don't know. It was under $2. I grabbed this entire Darth Maul run, also pretty cheap because again, I was just trying to edge my way up to get that free shipping. So I grabbed Darth Maul 1 through 4 Star Wars. Just some solid covers in here. I don't know. I guess I can put these down because I'm going to need the space anywhere. So there you go, the second issue. Yeah, the third, he's riding his little speeder thing there. And then there. I mean, just good covers. Should be an interesting series. I've never actually read that one. But again, for a couple of bucks each, it's worth checking them out. And then for my last two, these are the two books I actually did want from this seller because I didn't have them in my PC. And I figured the big-time Star Wars fan, but I've been buying more of the books as of late because they're one of the most interesting things to collect these days in the market. I just got to be honest. I mean, Star Wars spec is one of the only things that actually gets me pretty excited to be collecting again, because most of the Marvel stuff and even the DC stuff is a little bit of a lull. Like DC, I don't know if it's just because of the movies, but DC's movies haven't really hit the mark for me, and even Marvel, it feels like it's over. So we don't know where they're going next, and I am excited to see it, but until we actually get back to theaters, I'm going to start seeing some of these movies. Marvel and DC have just been kind of sitting on the sidelines. So Star Wars has kind of filled that need for me for something to look for. So to that end, I grabbed Star Wars 43, which is First Lando. I love Billy D. I mean, how can you not love Billy D? But I also got to say, Donald Glover killed it in that Solo movie, which was not great, but it was not awful. So I really hope that somebody would think that, hey, they should bring Lando back in a Disney Plus series and let Donald Glover just roll with it, because I know I'd watch that. Just give me 6 episodes. I'm good. But I wanted this book. Paid a few bucks for it. I think it was like $5. It's not that easy to find for $5, but I found one. $5 is about the price I really wanted to pay. And then, I moved on. The other book that I needed from that seller's one I just haven't had, I need to fill my Star Wars collection, was this 68, which is the Origin Boba Fett issue. I got the 42 last year. One of those eBay bucks or something. I don't know. I got that at a solid price. The same thing with this. This was a good price too, especially for the condition that it was in. So I figured, you know what? I had a little bit of extra in the PayPal. Let me grab that, but I didn't want to pay the shipping. I think it was like $7. So I think I added most of those other books and got them basically for free because I was going to pay the $7 shipping for this guy. And I think anyway. So I don't know. That's what I bought the last couple weeks. This thing came in just yesterday. I might do more of these as more books come in, and if anybody's interested, I'll share the stuff I'm buying, telling you what I'm buying them and why I'm buying them, as long as I can remember. Again, I may not wait a couple of weeks before doing another one, because then, as you can see, my memory is not the sharpest, especially when I haven't prepped and I've been having a few beverages. So I'm going to check, see if my phone's charged, and get to my dollar bin digging video. So thanks for checking this out, and I will see you guys later.